there, this is Mrs. Piper, and we are now to step 3 in our balance composition. If you will notice, I have my shapes laid out on my construction paper just to show you my examples. Remember, you only have to do 2 balance compositions. I am doing 3 to demonstrate symmetrical, radial, and asymmetrical. Now, as you can see, each one of our designs has multiple copies of each shape that I've cut out. So remember, step 2, we went over how to cut multiples of the shapes so that we don't just have one squiggly line, we have several. This one, the orange shapes are for my symmetrical balance composition, so that's going to be the first one I do. The pink and brown is for my radial, and the blue and brown is for my asymmetrical. So let me move my asymmetrical and my radial out of the way, and let's talk about setting up your design. Step 3, arrange your compositions. Arrange the shapes in repetition around your composition to create whichever 2 types of balance you have chosen. Once you're satisfied with your arrangement, carefully glue down every shape using a thin line of glue around the edge. Craftsmanship is the neatness with which you do your work, so make sure that you glue them neatly. Now, on this piece of paper, I have all of my shapes laid out. Now, this is just a scrap piece of paper. I have the green square that I made already mocked up. So, remember, with symmetrical balance, what you see on one side has to be exactly the same as what you see on the other. Now, if you'll notice, I have arranged my shapes in a manner that interests me, and I'm happy with the design. So now I have glued down these shapes. Now, I want to do a close-up on how to glue down the shapes so that you can see how to use the bottle of glue in the most safe manner, because if you put too much glue on your shapes when you glue them, the glue will ooze out and it will really warp your paper and look messy. I'm going to add another little shape right here at the bottom, and I think I'm going to make it either a small teardrop shape or maybe one of these curvy triangles. I'm trying to figure out which one I like better. Now, the fun part about this assignment is that you can really create a variety of different ideas and brainstorm, and then when you come up with the design that you like the most, that's when you glue it down. Okay, I think that I like this horn shape better. So I think I'm going to glue this kind of even with that one, maybe over a little bit. Okay. Now, when I'm getting ready to glue a shape down, I want to make sure, and I'm going to bring it real close to the camera, I want to make sure that I'm putting a thin bead of glue around the edge. Make sure it's opened up. Very good. I'm putting a thin bead of glue around the edge of the shape. Ooh, that was a lot of glue. So I'm going to smooth it out with my finger so it's just a little bit of glue. Okay? See that? It's not a lot. And now I'm going to put it down where I want to place it. I think I'm going to make it parallel to that shape. And I'm going to tap it down. Okay? Now, I want to show you a trick for making sure that your symmetrical design is symmetrical. You will notice that my seam goes right up the middle, and this is on a diagonal. Remember, you could have folded it horizontal, across, vertical, up and down, or diagonal, and I did mine diagonally. So now I want to start gluing down the pieces that are symmetrical. So I have found the piece of shape that I cut out at the same time I did this one, right? Now, I can glue it just like this down, and I know that it matches up. But for some of these that are kind of out here in the middle of the triangle, I'm not going to be exactly sure where to place them. So let me show you a trick. If you are interested, what you want to do is you can take the shape, you can place it directly on top of the piece that it's matching. Okay, I'm going to move this out of the way. And you can put the glue on the shape. Again, thin bead of glue around the edge. Okay? And let me show you what you might do. And you can do this with one shape at a time, or you could do a bunch of shapes. I'm going to take my paper, and you'll notice it's got glue on it. This shape has glue on it. I'm going to fold my paper in half. I'm going to rub it, and when I lift it off, it will be glued to this side. So that's a nice little trick that you can do if you are interested in making sure that your shape is at the same angle as your first one. Look at this shape. I'm taking the second copy, I'm placing it down on top, I'm putting glue around the edge, and then I'm taking my composition and I'm folding it in half, and I'm rubbing it where the glue is, and now it's at the same spot. That works out really well. So if you're worried that you're not going to put it down exactly right, lay the shape on top. Here's my second circle. I'm laying it on top. I'm putting the glue around the edge. Don't put too much glue, because if it oozes out, you know, you'll make a mess. Now look, I'm leaving it right there on top of the original. I'm folding this over, and now it's in the right place. You can continue that all the way up. You're going to do that for all of your designs. For example, I have created my radial design. I have all of my shapes right here. And remember, I have 8 copies of each shape. So if I am ready, I can take this shape. Here's the second copy of it. I can put it down right on top of the original. I can add the glue. And I can fold my paper over. And now it's there. So you'll notice as I begin to put these in, I lay them down on top, I add my glue, and then I fold my paper over, and it sticks exactly where it's supposed to. I'm going to have to do that 8 times over, because remember, your radial design has 8 sections. See how they're matching up? So you're going to do that over and over. And as you repeat, it's going to create your radial design. Now, for the asymmetrical design, you've got all of your shapes, triangles and teardrop shapes, whatever you're going to use. And you can kind of spread them out and then kind of just play around with it. I played around with my cutouts and I came up with this design. Because it's asymmetrical, nothing has to be exactly the same on both sides. So if you'll notice, I've got kind of a nice movement here with the triangular shapes, and then I love these little spatter images. So I'm going to finish gluing down all of my shapes to complete step 3. Again, step 3, arrange your compositions with the shapes repeated where they need to be repeated. Right? And once you're satisfied with your arrangement, carefully glue them down. Okay, and I will finish gluing all of these and I'll be back for step 4. Thank you for watching. Talk to you soon.